going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. But first we're going to be talking about, kind of a unique subject in this case. And I'm going to go over a couple of situations where I had to explain this to some people. So, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail. Double barrel shotguns. Are they good for self-defense? Now, whether I'm talking about side by side, over under, it's not the point here. And honestly, you guys can sit here and argue, oh, well, there's a triple barrel shotgun. I really don't care because that's only one more round. It's not the biggest deal. Now, we're going to get right into it on whether or not they're good for self-defense. Of course, I'm going to run them through as many self-defense situations as applicable. However, there are some, there are different situations here. Now, one of the funny things is that I've actually seen some people carry around sawed-off double-barrel shotguns, for their EDC, which is absolutely insane and not safe by any standard. If you have an ND, you're really fucking screwed. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with home defense, double-barrel shotguns. Are they useful? So for home defense, here's the thing is that my biggest problem with double barrels and really the entire concept of these little, these flip open shotguns. Excuse me. Sorry for y'all that had to hear it. Hopefully none of y'all had me playing in some headphones or something that probably hurt your ears. So one of my biggest issues with, that style of shotgun or that, platform of shotgun is the lack of capacity. Now, I'm sure some of y'all are wondering, well, Mark, you said that, with the right round, and you said 12 gauge would be the right round, that capacity isn't the biggest deal. And that is true. But there is still an extent. You can still draw a line and be like, okay, yeah, I don't want to go any lower than this. You know what I mean? Like, that's like if you have a savings account and you're like, oh, yeah, well, I have all this money in here. What is it? It's not going to be a big deal if I use some of it. Yeah, you can use some of it if you need to, but you need to draw a line where to stop it because you do need money in a savings account. You see what I'm getting at here? So you want to be prepared is what I'm getting at. Now, I've seen a lot of people who, they practice in competitions, for example. I've seen some people in competitions, believe it or not, they're using double barrel shotguns. It happens, And I've seen where, they're very fast at reloading. That can be very helpful in a situation like that. But that, of course, requires a lot of practice, a lot of training, a lot of time, a lot of energy. And usually, if you're not just going about it the dry fire snap cap route, a lot of ammo. So it will take time. It's not exactly something that will be easy. However, you can reload somewhat quickly, you could say, but still nowhere near as quick as just having the rounds already in the gun and pulling the trigger again. So with that being said, we're not looking great for capacity here. Stopping power is really based off the round itself that you chose for the shotgun that you get, But I will say, even in 410 with that little extra barrel length, you do get a bit more velocity as double barrel shotguns tend to have a bit longer of a barrel than your standard pumps or semi-autos nowadays. So for overall, I'll be honest with you guys, double barrel shotguns, they're not going to be getting the greatest score from me. Some of y'all might think I'm just hating on them. Some of y'all might just be offended. Some of y'all might just be FUDs. That's all you grew up with. But the truth of the matter is that it is a much older platform. The parts are going to be much harder to really get your hands on. Not to mention that while it has been around for a lot longer, it still isn't the best. Why do you think that these other manufacturers said, you know what, I'm gonna put a tweak on this. So I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna add a tube magazine in here. I'm gonna make it a pump action instead. Why do you think they did this? It's that way you could get more rounds off quicker and be better at defending yourself. So it's not gonna get a great score overall. Now, is it to say that, double barrels are not cool and it's not dope to have one? No, it is 100%. You know what I mean? But overall, for home defense, they're probably going to get like a 3.5, or I'll be nice and say 4 out of 10. Because while depending on the round, it should be able to do the job. It's still, that lack of capacity is really such a big deal in that case, because as we've seen recently, not even recently, within the last years on years, like 5-10 years, A majority of home invasions are not just one or two people anymore. It is a group of people. It is a group of armed people. And it is a group of armed people who are ready to shoot you for your shit. So you need to be ready to shoot back. And if you don't have enough ammo, you're not going to be able to shoot back. That's just what it is. So home defense, as I said, it's going to get a 4 out of 10. Concealed carry, I don't believe this is really an applicable situation. While I have seen some people who, saw off the barrel of their shotguns, do some really fucking crazy NFA shit and use that as their EDC, I'm not even going to touch into that topic because it just seems like a dumb idea. So there's not going to be any concealed carry. We're going to move right on to shit hits the fan. Now, shit hits the fan, I do see a bit more usage for a double barrel shotgun, something along those lines, as double barrel shotguns, shit like that, are very good for hunting purposes. Very, very good for hunting purposes. But then again, so are a lot of other shotguns. So are a lot of other shotgun platforms as well. So while it is good, you are still dealing with all of the same cons, except now in a much more stressful situation because shit has hit the fan. There's no other way around it. There's no other way to say that things have gone all to hell. You're in a state of mass lawlessness. There's none of the worldly comforts that you currently know. None of that, the modern day comforts that you currently know are available anymore. So you see what I mean? So it's still, it can be useful, but is it the most useful? No, not by any standard or any way, shape, or form. So it's not really something that's gonna, it wouldn't be my priority list for a shit hits the fan gun. That's what I can say. So for a shit hits the fan, I'm gonna be a bit nicer here because it does have a bit more usage. On top of the fact that depending on the round, it might be able to, stop one or two people before you have to reload at least. But it can be useful for hunting in a shit hits the fan situation. So I will give it a 5 out of 10 here. Now, last but not least, animal defense. I feel this one, and shit hits the fan, is where double barrel shotguns really shine the most. There's nothing in particular about the platform that, really makes it good for this, other than the fact that it's a shotgun. I mean, let's be 100% honest here for a minute, guys. With that barrel length, you get some slugs in there. You're not really worried about too many animals that you can't protect yourself from, whether it be a bear, wolf, coyote, alligator, crocodile, whatever the lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, whatever the hell you can think of that, you might need to defend yourself from, there's a pretty good chance you'll be able to. Now, if you don't get it done in those 2 shots, you better be fucking quick reloading or you better be a quick runner. But it can do the job for sure, and especially the calibers that these double barrel shotguns come in, it can do the job. It can be helpful when defending yourself against an animal. That's actually one of the cool things as well about shotguns is that, unless we're talking semi-autos, you can put a variety of different rounds in there. You can sit there and put, okay, yeah, I got slug in one, buckshot in the other. You know what I mean? Some people, if taking your guns apart, okay, yeah, the first trigger pull is going to be the left barrel, the second trigger pull is going to be the right one, or the top one and bottom one, however. My point, though, is simply that just because it's a shotgun is what's going to be useful for it. It's not anything, there's nothing to do with the platform itself about it being a double barrel. You only get 2 rounds off and you have to reload. Nothing about that itself that makes it useful for this. But the fact that it's a shotgun, the rounds that it comes in, the barrel length that comes with it can make it very, very useful for defending yourself against an animal. As I said, whether it be small, medium, some large. I'm sure there's going to be animals like a fucking elephant, for example, that, it's probably not going to do much to in terms of actually defending your life. But a majority of animals that you're legitimately going to run across, it'll probably do the job. I can say that without a doubt, especially if you're using the right caliber and the right kind of ammo too, it'll probably do the job. So I'll give that one a 5 out of 10 as well. So I guess overall we're looking at, a little under a 50% as an average. Not the greatest here. We've seen worse on channels on this channel for sure. We've seen worse on this channel. We've seen better on this channel. But is that to say that they're bad and that you should not own one? No. You check out all my other videos, even on things that I'm shitting on. I think the only gun I've said that, I believe you shouldn't own is a SIG P320 and maybe a High Point. But, other than that, that's not to say that these are bad guns that you shouldn't buy them. They can be very useful for certain particular situations, I'm sure. As I said, I pointed out a couple where they tend to shine a bit more. However, they're still cool to own just for collection purposes. Almost say collective, but whatever. Collection purposes. So, once again, don't let this video decide whether or not you should get one. Just understand it is not the most optimal for self-defense by any standard, especially in today's time. Maybe way back when, but today's time, hell no. With that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you agree with me, while double barrel shotguns, they can be pretty cool. You know what I mean? They look pretty dope. Who doesn't like, sitting there flipping that fucking, come on now. Who doesn't like flipping the barrels on their shotgun back up, locking it into place? Come on now. Who doesn't? It's pretty cool. However, it's just not going to be the best for self-defense, especially with what is available nowadays. Y'all make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.